Hello, and welcome to Night History Archive. Tonight, let the noise of the modern world fade away. Let your breathing slow, and let us travel deep into the pristine, untouched jungles of Sri Lanka, a place where the canopy is so thick, it hides the secrets of gods and men alike. The year is 1831. British Major Jonathan Forbes is hacking his way through the suffocating green maze. Suddenly, the trees part, and he freezes. Rising from the jungle floor is a terrifying and majestic sight. A sheer, vertical column of solid rock, stretching 200 meters into the sky and resting upon its perfectly flattened summit. Isolated from the rest of the world are the ruins of a colossal ancient palace. It is a city in the clouds. But as Forbes stares up at this impossible fortress, he realizes something chilling. The rock walls are completely vertical. There are no stairs, no ramps, no physical way to reach the top. Bewildered, he asks the isolated Buddhist monks living in the forest below how the builders ever reached the summit. Their answer is not one of engineering, but of ancient magic. They did not, the monks whisper. They flew. Mainstream history offers us a much more grounded, if bloody, explanation for this. We are told that in the late 5th century, a ruthless prince named Kasyapa seized the throne by burying his father alive and driving his brother into exile. Consumed by paranoia and the constant fear of his brother's return, King Kasyapa fled into the jungle and built this impenetrable fortress in the sky to hide. According to the official records, this entire megalithic complex was constructed in a mere 7 years, between 477 and 485 AD, but in the Night History Archive, we do not accept the surface story. We look at the stone. This is not ordinary rock. Sigiriya is composed of charticite, an incredibly dense granite with a most hardness level of 7. For context, a diamond is a 10. Yet, the entire 16,000 square meter summit of this mountain was perfectly leveled and shaved flat by supposedly primitive men. They didn't just flatten it. They transformed it into a stepped pyramid structure, aligning its gardens perfectly with equinox sun. Could a terrified, fugitive king running a fragile state really accomplish this in just 7 years? The mathematics suggests something else entirely. Let us look at the raw logistics of this so-called 7-year project. To build the palace walls and structures on the summit, archaeologists estimate that at least 3 million clay bricks were used. If the construction took only 7 years, the workers would have had to transport and lay over 1,100 bricks every single day. But remember, there was no staircase. How do you transport 3 million bricks up a 200-meter vertical cliff? The mystery deepens. The pathways and ceremonial steps of Sigiriya are paved with massive blocks of white marble weighing several tons each. Yet, geologists have confirmed that there is not a single marble quarry anywhere near this region. How were these colossal stones brought through the dense jungle and then hoisted into the clouds? And how do we explain the highly sophisticated underground hydraulic systems, the subterranean water channels and pressure locks that still, to this very day, pumped water to the summit's pools? The official history asks us to believe in a logistical miracle performed by a paranoid king, but the stones themselves whisper of a much older, much more advanced technology. At the very peak of this granite monolith lies the ultimate architectural anomaly. A massive water reservoir carved directly into the bedrock. It measures 30 meters long, 23 meters wide, and 2.5 meters deep. To create this single pool, someone had to carve out and remove approximately 3,500 tons of Mosevan, solid granite. If you look closely at the edges of this pool, you'll not see the jagged, uneven marks of primitive copper chisels. Instead, you see long, smooth, sweeping impressions, like a giant spoon scooping ice cream. These are the exact same inexplicable scoop marks found on the megalithic stones of ancient Egypt and Peru. Some alternative researchers and engineers suggest this is evidence of an ancient lithophilic science, the ability to soften or melt stone using advanced acoustics or chemical compounds. If King Kasyapa did not have this technology, then who did? Who originally shaved the top of this mountain and carved out thousands of tons of granite before the bloody king ever arrived? To find the true architects, we must listen to the local monks who guarded this site for 1,000 years. To them, Sigiriya predates King Kasyapa by millennia. It belongs to the era of the great mythological wars, the time of the Hindu epics. According to these ancient texts, this palace was the stronghold of King Ravana, the fearsome ruler of Lanka. The legends tell us that Ravana did not need stairs to reach his fortress. Sigiriya Vimana, a celestial flying chariot powered by an unknown energy. When Ravana abducted the goddess Sita, it was to this very palace in the clouds that he brought her in his flying machine. The myths state that Sigiriya was constructed by the Asuras. In ancient texts, the Asuras are often described as a demonic race, but crucially, they were masters of highly advanced technology. They possessed weapons of mass destruction, portals between realms, and the power of levitation. If an advanced civilization with anti-gravity technology built this fortress, the lack of stairs and the transport of 3 million bricks suddenly makes perfect, terrifying sense. As you approach the final ascent of the rock today, you are greeted by 2 colossal claws carved into the stone. Mainstream history calls it Lion's Rock, assuming these are the paws of a great cat. But look closer. The anatomy is strange. The 3 elongated toes and sharp talons look less like a mammal and more like a massive reptile. Ancient texts describe King Ravana not as a normal man, but as a giant, a shape-shifting being who shared characteristics with the Nephilim, the hybrid offspring of celestial beings and humans. In many Vedic myths, the Asura race is heavily associated with reptilian or Naga symbolism. Are these giant claws truly those of a lion? Or are they the signature of the reptilian lords who once ruled the skies? Over the millennia, humanity has tried to claim this sacred space. Hindus say it belongs to Shiva. Buddhists say a Buddha meditated nearby. Abrahamic faiths claim the nearby mountain is where Adam first set foot after falling from Eden. Every religion has laid its own story, but the silent 200-meter granite colossus remains. Is it merely the Savannian hiding place of a frightened mortal king? Or is it the last surviving landing pad of the Vimanas, an ancient technological marvel built by the lords of the sky? Thank you for exploring this chapter of the past with us. Until we open the next file in the Night History Archive, I wish you a calm and peaceful night.